Hey y'all, welcome back to our weekly video series. I'm Peyton, and I am joined once again by Corey and Yaila. And today we are bringing you your monthly energy report for the month of September. So we're going to mix it up a little bit. It seems like we always have our astrology report at the end. So today we're going to switch it around and see what Corey has for us. So Corey, what is coming up for us in September?
Well, hello everyone, and hi Peyton and Yaila. So glad to be here with you today. Well, September. I feel like I'm going to be a broken record, and I am going to be a broken record. So, just to remind you, or for anybody who hasn't tuned into us today, if I can get my mouth to work, blah, 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 blah. We are heading towards the Aquarian age. And that is the age of love and light and community and humanitarianism. And so in order to be in that vibration, the old system has to be taken down. And in September, we've been in this for ever since really 2012, but it's really ramped up in 2020. And so the last couple of years, we've experienced a lot. And September is definitely a ramp up because October, November are going to be really, really, really strong. So why is September really ramping up? Well, we're heading into eclipse season, and that will be in October, November. And energy, it's ramping up. It's just ramping up. We have a lot of solar flares that are happening, and that can affect our nervous system. My ears actually starting to ring. That must be true. Or maybe anyways. With the solar flares, it does affect our bodies. So our nervous system could be affected. We could get heart palpitations. By any means, if you have any body symptoms, don't just say it's the solar flares. I mean, if you need to go see a doctor, go see a doctor. However, these are some of the symptoms. We could be extremely tired or feel really jittery and nervous. So that is part of September and the ramping up. And it's really the big push to unraveling the new order of the way that things have always been, or at least for the last several thousand years. So on the 1st of September, we are in, well, let me rephrase it back in 2021, we've had this Saturn, which is the restricting planet, the principle that's like, young man, you're late. You're going to be on detention, sort of a thing. The timekeeper is going to square, which means it's a challenging aspect to Uranus. Uranus is the future, rules electricity. So it's restrictor in a square to the fast mover. Okay. And we had this in 2021, and it's going to continue, for the rest of this year at least. So, but in September, and bang, right off the bat, September 1st, we're going to have a pretty strong Saturn square Uranus energy. So what does that mean? And also to the moon is going to be triggering it. So moon is the emotions. Saturn is in Aquarius, so it's humanity, power to the people, being restricted, with a square to Uranus, which is fast moving, futuristic. So it's an explosive It's an explosive energy. And that will go on for several days. There's some other aspects that are on the first, but that's the main ones. On September 4th, we have Venus that moves into Virgo. And so that, Venus is the love planet. Virgo is details, organizing. Have you felt like you want to organize your house or purge stuff? We are in Virgo season. So as I always say, half of the month we're in one sign, half of the month the other half we're in another sign. So the first part of September, we're going to be in Virgo. So the whole last part of August, you may have felt like you wanted to organize things, get things in order. And that's going to continue in September, the first half of September. So Virgo is the perfectionist, the organizer, the refiner, service work. So have you felt like you've been doing a little bit more self-love as well, service to yourself? Well, Venus is going to go into Virgo. So we'll have the Sun in Virgo and Venus in Virgo. And that's really more of that self-love, a personal refinement. It's also rules, your health. Have you felt like you wanted to eat healthier? Venus is going to help to help you eat healthier, maybe get on a new exercise program. That's Venus in Virgo. That will be on September 4th. And then September 9th. By the way, before I even get into September 9th, I guess I could do it afterwards. September 9th, Mercury is going to go retrograde in Libra. Okay. So Mercury is the mind. Libra is the scales, always that balance, trying to balance things, weighing things out. Libra's really good at weighing things out, pros, cons, it's the scales. So because Mercury's going retrograde, Mercury the mind, it's about like reconciling differences, with someone from the past, because the retrogrades are also redo, rethink, reconsider, those types of things. And that makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 6th planet to be in retrograde. So in September, we have Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter, Uranus, and as of September 9th, Mercury going retrograde. So if you feel like, because of the Virgo season, getting the home, organized, watching, maybe doing a new menu for what you're going to eat, working out. It's very much a feeling of redoing things, in the Virgo season. And with all these planets retrograde, it can feel like we're moving through sludge because the planets seemingly are going backwards. So it's not a time to really be catapulting forward. It's a time to review and renew and, revisit, retweak anything that, projects that we're doing. So that's why you might feel, again, some of that sludgy energy, which works very great for being at home. Have you felt like you want to just stay at home, and just organize? Those are the energies of the retrograde. As of September 9th, 6 retrograde planets and that Virgo. Pardon me. So September 10th, we have had this Uranus North Node thing going on. Uranus is in Taurus. Uranus, electricity, moving fast, futuristic, in Taurus for a long time. Taurus is like trying to get a ball to move when it's sitting down. Not so much. But Taurus rules the earth and food. So It's conjunct, which means there are two energies working together with the North Node that happens to be in Taurus. North Node, again, is our destiny point, what we work towards, what we're moving towards. South Node is the things that we're releasing. South Node is in Scorpio. So we're releasing from the South Node, but heading towards the North Node. And Taurus works really slow and steady, like the turtle, really slow. But with Uranus in Taurus as well, it's Uranus is really pushing all of us, especially if you're a Taurus, to change, move towards the future. Whereas Taurus doesn't like change. Taurus likes to stay home, in the comfy blankets with good food. But Uranus is really pushing it with the North Node. So, and it's also giving, because Taurus is the ruler really of Mother Earth. Mother Earth, as of September 10th, is going through a big upgrade. That's why we're having all these solar flares. The frequency of the planet is raising. We're going through a big upgrade. And it's so that we can continue on the path forward towards the future, towards the Aquarian age. Okay. And we've had these aspects, half of this year at least. And it's strong. It's really strong. So take care of yourself. Listen to your body. Again, this is a month to listen to your body. Our bodies never lie to us. Our heads, we have a lot of energy this month that is in air signs, and we could be in our heads, and try and, think through everything. Listen to your body. That's your intuition. It'll never lie to you. All right. It's really important this month. And then on September 22nd, the sun moves into Libra. So now we're going into Libra season. Libra is all about relationships, the scales, weighing out the scales, and it's also the autumn equinox. So it's opening up again, pathways. It's opening up pathways, portals for transformation for all of us this autumn equinox. We are going through some really transformational times if we choose to, because here, we have free will. It is a choice. But the opportunities this month for those choices and the portal being opened up with the autumn equinox and that Uranus North Node conjunction in Taurus, is literally just opening up that pathway and saying, I'm here. If it's like being on the escalator, at the airport that's flat, you can either walk it or hop on and walk and go twice, move it faster. And so, and then September 29th, Venus goes into Libra. So love on the love boat. Yeah, this is a great love energy here. September 10th, we have a full moon in Pisces. So, and there's a lot of other energies with this full moon, but full moons are about releasing. What are you going to release? Pisces is about spirituality and creativity and also like altered states, dreams. Get those dream journals out. I've been writing so much in my dream journal because I've been having these vivid dreams. My dreams always have told me the future. So that's why I started to have a dream journal, because I wanted to remember it. But dreams are very vivid. And on this full moon, 10 days prior, during that full moon, and days after, try and get a dream journal, because it's amazing what messages you get just from writing down your dreams. So pay attention to your dreams. And then every sign has a, higher frequency and a lower frequency, and the lower frequency of Pisces is toxicity, pollution, drugs, addiction, also deceit and flooding. So we might see some more floods, out in the world. And deceit is a really big one. There's going to be a lot of exposing deceit or feeling as though we're being deceived with this full moon. Remember, 10 days prior. And the reason for that and why that is highlighted, deceit and exposing deception, is because the planet Mars is in Gemini for a long time. I think it's till March of next year. It's not usually in one sign for that long, but it's going to go and then it's going to retrograde and then go back over. And Mars is that output energy. It's that masculine output. Gemini is the twins air sign. So, with this full moon in Pisces and that Mars in Gemini, it's going to energize our headiness, just our brains. So, yes, no, should I, shouldn't I? And it's also can be a very scattered energy. Okay. So you might, the propensity to feel like you want to escape, because we're going to have that Mars in Gemini is the information highway. Gemini rules information. Mars is that output. And so we're going to have a lot of new facts coming out, a lot of new information. And if we get into our heads about it, it might get toxic. You know what I mean? It might feel toxic. But again, listen to your body. Because our bodies will tell us what is true for us. No matter what we hear or what is exposed or what new information is coming out, our heads can tell us one thing, but our bodies never lie to us. And so it is a really good month to really buckle down on your spiritual practice, meditation, getting in touch with yourself. That's that Virgo that helps us to get in touch with ourselves. New health regimens, working out, but just that self-care. All right? So remember to listen to your body, because there's going to be a lot. That's why September is really ramping up with a lot of that energy of information, new facts, lots of conflicting information. So listen to your body. Even if you need to, I talked about it in another video, when you kind of, you use your body as a pendulum and you stand up straight and you ask what your yes is, and your body will either go forward or backwards. And then you get your no, and then ask yourself a question, and it will give you the yes or no. Your body never lies to you. So if you don't know how to do that, well, I basically just explained it. You might want to start trying it and see how that works for you, especially around 10 days prior to this full moon in Pisces, at least. So also too, with that full moon, and this is just some of it, the moon is going to conjunct Neptune. They're going to be one energy. So our emotions, and Neptune rules Pisces. So it is illusions. And so we talk about discernment. Be in your discernment, up your discernment. Your body never lies to you. Your body will tell you and will help you with your discernment. Okay, so really important. And then, I had to write it down so much, I always do. And then on the 25th, and this is the last of it, September 25th, we have a new moon in Libra. And the new moons are about manifesting. Okay. So Libra, of course, is the scales. It's an air sign. So Libra signs, you know, those scales weigh out things. That's the mind, you know, the mind weighing things out. You know, how should I do this? How should I not? But Libras can also really get into their heads and not make a decision because they're just weighing it out so much. However, Libra also too, if in the tarot deck, it's the Justice card, the scales, you know, weighing out, you know, it's the Justice card. So this new moon gives us the opportunity to, you know, take a look at, you know, ask ourselves and take a look at, you know, what's increasing in our life and what's decreasing in our life. Increasing, decreasing, increasing, you know, around relationships, creativity, business, and friendships. Okay. So Libra is the relationships. So, and just taking a look at that, you know, what may need to be increased a little bit, what may need to be decreased a little bit, but starting to weigh out those relationships, friendships, creativity. Libras are also great at making money. They're great at business and designing, quite honestly, from my experience with all the Libras I have in my life. And then, so basically too, it's about weighing out your values. You know, how do you value yourself? How do you value your relationships, your friendships? That new moon has a lot of strong energy pertaining to that. And so, you know, the potential is to be open in new ways and a new life. Libra can weigh it out so much they don't really make decisions, or, you know, they wait a long time before they make a decision because of the weighing out. So it is the opportunity, you know, to open your mind, you know, to look at things differently, or to take a look at new things in your life and thinking about moving forward. And because Libra is also the you know, the sign of choice and balance. In September, we are having to make choices. You know, we've had a lot of weighing out. Yes, we have all those retrograde planets, but you know, are we going to choose fear? Because there's going to be a lot of information coming out, a lot of facts, a lot of information, and it can trigger fear. Or are we going to choose love? You know, loving our life and the opportunities that we have, loving one another. That Saturn and Aquarius, moving into the Aquarian age, we are having opportunities to learn how to love ourselves and love one another in humanity, and knowing that we're all in this world together. And September, you know, it's like a cannon. You know, that cannon's got to build up that energy before, you know, it's catapulting. So Uranus moves really fast. It's that fast moving. And if we stay in fear, we might just be catapulted in a direction that we don't choose. Or we can start weighing it out with all that Libra energy. The Virgo earlier in the month is about refining everything and organizing and getting things together. So fear, love, fear, love. That's a lot of what September's about. So, all right then, Yaila. She does the energy report. She reads the energy. So what have you got for September?
Thank you, Corey. So, as you all know, or maybe you're just learning now, I tap into the energy of the collective, and I do it just right in the video. So let me just do that very fast. I always like to ask for a blessing. So, Creator of all that is, please bring forth information, healing for those tuning in, their highest and best good. Please guide me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So the color I'm getting for the collective is actually gold, and gold is a really, in the school that I teach at, and Corey teaches at, gold is considered a really high vibrational neutral color. So let me just kind of see why gold is representing the collective. What's coming through, it's a lot of things wrapped into one. So it's honoring what is true, what is pure to your heart, and just some of the themes that have been popping up coming into September, looking at core wounds. You know, the last couple of weeks, it feels like, and a lot of readings I've been giving for people, some of our core wounding has been highlighted, has been brought up to the surface. And so I love that Corey was speaking about self-love being a big theme in September, because these core wounds are highlighting places to look to see where we need to bring ourselves more self-love, and looking at what was that original picture, that original moment, that original thing in our lifetime that's started bringing up all these similar patterns throughout our life growing up. And so we're able to kind of pull back all those old patterns and just look at that original, we call it kind of that core wound, that core traumatic, or that imprint memory that started at the root, that kind of set things off as a pattern. So this month you get to look at what those core things are, and you get to change your story from what you used to believe in yourself and tell yourself and create your reality around. Now you get to have a different perspective and different insight on, is that really true? Do you really want to keep believing this about yourself? Or do you want to change your perspective and start to manifest and create the world around you based off of these new beliefs? And there's so many different ways you can do that. We have videos on shadow work, and there's inner child work you can do. You can work with different types of healers out there. You can work with therapists. I mean, there's so many different directions you can go. So please go with whatever resonates with you if you are unsure which direction to go. So self-love is definitely going to be highlighted for this month of September, and you've probably already started to feel yourself going into this energy. So let me just kind of see what else for the collective for the month of September 2022. They are bringing in just highlighting relationships again. So looking at, obviously, it always starts with us, right? So when our relationship becomes stronger within ourselves, we really learn to look at our own self-worth, our own value, what we value spending our energy on in the world. When it starts here, it starts to ripple out to the people, places, and things around us. And so as you start to fill in your cup and start to see yourself in a new light, you're actually going to start experiencing different connections and relationships than you have probably in the past. And they're showing me it's happening on all different levels, you know, family, friends, and even romantic levels. So it feels like there's kind of a whole upgrade happening to not just your own relationship with yourself, but relationships as a whole. Let's see if there's anything. I always like to ask, what specifically is helpful for the collective to know for September? And it's funny because they're giving me the image of a car. I'm like, a car? What the heck is a car? And so as I just start asking more questions about a car, they're showing me a car driving fast. And then they're showing me like who is in the car with you. And the impression I'm getting from this image and just the quick download of information that's coming in is, who are those key people that you have traveling with you on this journey? You know, your life is a journey. It's not always about the destination where you end up, but it's really about the journey along the way. So who are those people that help you enjoy the ride, who like to experience the journey similar the way that you do. You know, some people just like to go balls out and just get to the destination. Other people like to stop and enjoy and check out the scenery and get some snacks, you know, along the way. So they're highlighting, who do you want to be around you in this journey? So it's not just about trying to prove yourself in the relationships, but really focusing your energy and spending your energy and your time with those people that you actually enjoy the journey with. Because we are moving fast and we can have it be a fun ride. It really just depends on who we are riding with. So think about, in that car scenario, who would you want in your car with you? And obviously there's different size of cars, so there's no limit. Maybe it's one person next to you that as long as they're riding with you, you're cool. Or maybe you have a whole bus full of people with you. You know, who do you want on that journey with you? Who is going to make it fun? Who is going to make this fast ride worth it for you? Okay, so let's see. What do we need to watch out for as a collective? Big, bold words that came is those doubts, really doubting ourselves, really doubting the journey that we're on, really doubting our final destination if we want to keep the car theme running. So looking at what are those doubts, and it kind of goes back to those core pictures. Why is that a doubt? Where is that coming from? Is it actually true? Is it actually valid? Or is this old stories that you just kind of bought in a long time ago, and now that's just kind of running the show in the background? So really looking at, what are you doubting about yourself? What are you doubting as far as what's possible for you? What are you doubting as far as ways to go about it? You know, because there's so many different ways, especially nowadays. We actually have a lot more access at our fingertips than we ever have on the planet. It's just a matter of, if you believe there's a will, there is a way, you will find a way, you will find the resources and that support. So the themes are kind of tying in together as far as those core pictures, your worth, your self-worth, the people you are choosing to spend your energy with, because all these together join in synchronicity as far as the journey and reaching the destination that you see highest and best fit. Let's see if there's any last messages for the collective that would be helpful for September. The word coming in right now is honoring your heart. So looking at more ways to honor your heart. So maybe you are working on self-love. Maybe you are working on trying to enjoy your journey even more, but they want you to take it a step further and honor your heart. And when I kind of ask right now, what does that even mean? It means honoring where you're spending your energy, honoring where you're focusing your thoughts, honoring where you are choosing to put your actual physical body, mental body, spiritual body. All of that is important, and you want to honor. And they're bringing in that golden color again. When your heart feels like a heart of gold and you can just shine your light out in the world, what are those things that honor you to feel comfortable and safe in doing that? So maybe that could be a theme for yourself, is this honoring my heart? And it's a really great question to ask. It'll help you sort through all the foggy confusion, doubt stuff that can pop in for this month. And it'll really help bring you a lot of clarity on what's true for you. At least, where do you want to go? What's true for you now in this moment, moving into the future next steps. So I hope you find that helpful. Peyton, what do the Pleiades have to say?
Yes, thank you, Yaila. Hey, y'all, I'm Peyton, and as you know, I channel the Pleiadians. So every month, I like to ask them the same 3 questions. I like to ask them, what is the status of our ascension journey? What is going on? What's the news? I like to ask, what can we expect as a collective in the coming month? And then I like to ask what the energetic themes are. So this month was kind of interesting when I checked in with the Pleiadian guides, because they were a little more cryptic than usual. So they are giving us some things to interpret for ourselves. And that is something that's a little unusual for them. So I'm kind of curious to see where these are going to go. So the first cryptic saying they had for us was when I asked them for an ascension update. And so what they said is, the shift is upon you. You are no longer waiting. And that was all they would say. And so normally they will give me follow-up. They will tell me exactly what they mean. But this month, they are letting us figure that out for ourselves. So I'm not totally sure what they mean by that, but it sounds really interesting. So the first thing they wanted us to know was the shift is here. We aren't waiting anymore. So that was their first part of their message. Then they went on and they wanted to give us a little bit of news. They wanted us to know that the 5D grid is now fully operational. They said it is online, it is stable, and it is available to us. So what they were encouraging us to do for the month of September as lightworkers and starseeds is to totally start to release any connections we have with the 3D grid. They said that grid system will not serve us anymore. So they are encouraging us to pull our energy back from that, back from anywhere you are still invested in 3D things, whether that is people that don't serve you anymore, things that drain your energy, things you are doing out of obligation, things that you flirt with that are energy drainers, anything that is still connecting you to things that don't serve you. They are strongly encouraging us to start releasing those. And it's so funny because over the past couple months, they've been giving us this message, but every month it gets a little stronger. And so September was the strongest they have given us this message yet. So they're encouraging us to let go of anything that ties us to the 3D grid. They said it doesn't serve lightworkers anymore. And they said, don't even flirt with it. They said, let it go for good. So that was one of the main themes of their messages for us for what is coming up in September. But the other thing they wanted us to know about the status of our ascension was something that lightworkers have been working on very intensely over the past couple of years. And that is, many of us have been very dedicated to trying to wake up other people, trying to share information, share knowledge, to help those who are still asleep find their way into the light. And what the Pleiadian said was, the time to wake other people up has passed. They said all souls have made their decision as to whether they will be ascending or not. And so what they wanted us to know was that what they said is, those that have declined the invitation, and they have such a way with words, they said will start to find themselves on a very different path starting in September. So that's what they wanted us to know, that this separation of pathways that they've been talking about really for the past year is starting to really show itself. You can see this everywhere around you. So they wanted us to know that that is what's happening and that our focus is really, really important right now. So the second question that I'd like to ask them is, what can we expect in the collective? Just, what does the next month have in store for us? And so what they had to say was they wanted lightworkers to find peace. They said, all is done. So that was their second kind of cryptic message for the month. All is done. So they encouraged us to focus on peace in our lives, in finding calm, finding a time to center within, because they said this is a very important time of rest, because they said lightworkers are soon going to be called into action to step into the next phase of our mission, of our work here. And so they encouraged us to rest while we could. So September is going to be a good month to slow down. As Corey was talking about, that nesting, that staying at home, getting organized is very in line with what the Pleiadians are telling us, because they want us to take advantage of this reprieve before things get very active for us. So take this opportunity to rest a little bit. They may be talking about a slight break in some of these solar energies. They didn't say that specifically, but that's coming through now, that we might be getting a little bit of a break from the intensity that we've had, because August was pretty intense from the solar energy perspective. And so if we get a little break, again, that plays in with finding peace in your life for a little bit, because it's not going to last for long. And then the other thing that they had for us was, since we don't have to place so much of our focus on waking people up, and a lot of us, especially if you are teachers like the three of us, we spend a lot of our time educating, teaching, sharing. And they said we can slow down a bit on that. But the way they encouraged us to be of service, they said what we need light workers to do is to guard your vibration above everything. Because they said when light workers get distracted with what is going on in the outside world, in the 3D world, we start to vibrate with that fear narrative that's going on in the 3D world. And what happens is we lower our vibration, which essentially takes a light worker out of the game. We are here to raise the vibration on the planet, to keep the collective energy high. And so every light worker who gets distracted and falls into that fear is a man down. And they said we can't afford that right now. So what they're encouraging us is to put our vibration above everything. They said that's all we need you guys to focus on, is keeping your vibration high. So that's the way for us as light workers and starseeds to be of service in September, is actually by protecting our frequency, because they said that is really our soul's mission right now. So again, they're always encouraging us to go inward. They continued with that message, less focus on the external world. They said it's just going to distract you. And so again, focusing inward, getting your answers from within is something that they are starting to repeat to us every single month. And so then the last thing that I like to ask them is, what are the energetic themes for the month? And they had an interesting answer for us for September. They said the theme is calm and chaos. And I said, wait, aren't those kind of opposites? And they said, yes, they are. They said, you decide which boat you are going to be in. They said, for most light workers, you have done so much work that most of you won't even be a vibrational match for the chaos in the 3D world. They said, so many of you won't even be giving your attention to it or even noticing it. And that's what they're encouraging us to do. Again, it's stay out of the external distractions, stay focused. But they said many people are going to choose the boat of chaos. And so they encouraged us not to fall for that temptation, for that shiny toy, because they said people are going to be having very different experiences. So for September, we get to choose, do we want calm or do we want chaos? So that was kind of an interesting way that they presented the September energies to us. So again, they want us to just focus and not be distracted by things that could tempt us onto lower timelines. So that is what the Pleiadians had for us for September. Girls, anything last kind of popping up for you? No? Well, great. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning into our videos. We love you guys so much. We appreciate you. And we're always grateful if you help us get these videos out. So we love your comments, your shares, your follows. And if there is anything you want to know, reach out to us. All of our social media information is down below, and you can connect with us at any time. So we love you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.